Good afternoon and welcome to today's daily reading for the 28th of October 2023. And today's reading is from Wrinkles Don't Hurt, Daily Meditations on the Joy of Aging Mindfully by Ruth Fishel. So today's date. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. And that's a quote from Viktor Frankl. One way to practice being in the moment with mindfulness is to bring your full awareness to your breath and notice the pause between your breathing in and your breathing out. Breathe naturally and notice your breath. Notice as your breath exhales naturally. Be aware of the pause before you breathe in. Be aware of your breath as you breathe out. Notice as your breath exhales naturally. Notice the pause between your out-breath and your in-breath. Notice your breath as you breathe in. Be aware of the pause before you breathe out. Notice when your breath exhales naturally. Repeat this a few times, being aware of the pause between each breath and how this pause gets longer. This is a wonderful exercise to help you stay in the moment and become calm. So Ruth has kind of expanded on that quote from Viktor Frankl, where he's talking about between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in the space is the power to choose our response. So that space that we have, it's kind of something happens and then we can build on that length of space before our response. In that space is where we choose how we respond. And for me, mindfulness, practicing mindfulness, so daily practicing of watching my thoughts, watching my breath, noticing my breath, noticing everything about my breath, noticing the noises. Everything that I do mindfully seems to, in tiny, tiny, tiny increments, build the length of time between something happening and my response to that thing happening. Now, I'm not saying it happens all the time. Sometimes the words are out my mouth before I've even blinked. And that especially happens when I'm driving and when I'm watching rugby. I can't believe, that drivers who are doing things that are not affecting me, I can still respond in an instant to what it is that they're doing in a negative way. And also with the rugby, I find my shoulders in my ears and, my response time is very limited between something happening and what I say about that happening. But in my daily life, in general, when something happens, I do have the ability most of the time to take a pause and to then respond rather than reacting. There is a difference between reacting and responding. And for me, mindfulness is the thing that has helped me to build my response time, if you like. And I'm not quickening my response time, I am lengthening my response time. So there's that pause. So you can practice by using your breath, to think about that pause. When you breathe in, see if you can notice that pause where your in-breath becomes an out-breath. There is a tiny pause, and you can build the length of that pause, watching it. And then as you repeat your in-breath and your out-breath mindfully, you actually are likely to find that you sigh at some point because your breath wants to lengthen. The pause time before you take your next one wants to lengthen naturally. It just happens. So I challenge you, invite you to just after watching this, just to pay attention to your breathing. Breathe in, watch the pause, breathe out, watch the pause, breathe in, watch the pause, breathe out, watch the pause. And it's coming up for 5 minutes. So that's today's reading done. And I will see you tomorrow. Sending love out to you all. Hope you're having a lovely end to your October. And namaste.